Please
Hello,
confirm you can hear me clearly.
We can hear you. I can hear you.
Good evening, sir. We can hear you.
All right, thank you. Tonight, we shall be taking question on option theory and valuation. Our last class on SFM, that was on Monday last week, we explained the theory of option valuation. We started by saying that this theory may be new to most of us, option market. Please get me water. A market where you can buy or sell options on financial assets. The option market is a market where you can obtain the right to buy or the right to sell an asset. The right to buy is called the call option, while the right to sell is the put option. To obtain these rights, the option buyer will pay a premium. Premium is the amount paid to obtain the right to buy or the right to sell an asset. We explained this last week. We explained how to determine the premium payable. The premium payable is the price of the option. So you may be asked to calculate call option price or call option or put option price. To determine the price of the option, ICAN said we should use Black-Scholes option pricing model. There are different models for valuing option. However, your syllabus specifically mention Black-Scholes option pricing model. We explain the formula last week. We equally discussed the Greeks. The Greeks measure the sensitivity of to a change in any of the input variables. There are 5 input variables. If you are to value option, there are 5 variables required. What are these variables? The price of the asset, the exercise price, the risk-free rate, the time to maturity of the assets, and the volatility. The volatility is represented by the standard deviation. All right. Tonight we are taking question on option. Please refer to page 109 of your study pack. Question number 1. Page 109/1010. Sorry. Look at this question. Page 109 through 110. Let us use that question to further explain option theory. Please, can somebody confirm we have opened this page and we are good to go with the question? All right, thank you, Tosin. Let me expand this more. All right. All right, let's go to the question. You are the portfolio manager of an asset management company based in Kano. your company has in its portfolio 27,750 shares of Yaro PSC. A company listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The shares are currently trading at 3 naira 60 kobo per share. You plan to sell the shares in 6 months' time. To pay dividends. And you plan to hedge the risk of Yaro shares falling from their current market value. You are hedging against 5% fall in share price. The current market value is the current market price by more than 5%. That means you can tolerate 5% fall in share price. But the fall in share price must not exceed 5%. A decision has therefore been taken to buy an over-the-counter option to protect the shares. You have taken a decision to buy over-the-counter options to protect your shares. A merchant bank has offered to sell appropriate 6-month option to your company for 1,250,000 naira. Yaro shares, Yaro share price as an annual and the risk-free rates of 4% per annum. Requirements A. Evaluate whether or not the price at which the merchant bank is willing to sell the options is a fair price. Please look at the question. Before we go into this solution, to what extent do you understand this question and the examiner requirements? I want to hear from you. Aliyah. I want to hear from the students. To what extent do you understand the question and the examiner requirements? Usman, you are back today. I didn't see you last week. The class is silent. Does that mean nobody understands what the examiner is trying to ask?
Sorry, sir. My network was terrible in the last 2 weeks. Hello, sir.
Okay.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
I
sir.
can hear you, Usman.
Yes, my network was bad in the last 2 weeks. Each time I tried to enter, it was not connecting.
Oh, okay. I was like, maybe you have other commitments.
No, sir. But hopefully, now that I'm back, I will try and catch up with the class, sir.
All right. God will make it easy.
Thank you, sir.
Now, let me try to explain this. Because you can only relate with a question you understand. You are a portfolio manager in your company. Your company has shares in another company. You have 27,750,000 shares of Yaro PSC. That means your company has invested company shares. That means you have the shares already. You have invested, your company has invested its money in another company shares. Number of shares that your company has acquired is 27,750,000 shares of Yaro PSC. Currently, the share price is 3 naira 60 kobo. Your company is planning to sell these shares in 6 months. Assuming you are selling today, the price is 3 naira 60 kobo. But you are planning to sell in 6 months' time. What the share price will be in 6 months' time, you are not sure. If you are going to sell your shares in 6 months' time, what the share price will be, you are not sure. You now plan to hedge the risk of Yaro shares falling by more than 5% from their current market value. That is, if the share price should fall, that will reduce your investment value. If the share price should rise, you will be happy. That means you are going to get more money at the point of selling in 6 months. So you are worried about falling share price. You now decide to hedge against the risk of falling by more than 5%. That means you can tolerate 5% fall. Now, how do you hedge? You are planning to sell. That means you need to obtain a right to be able to sell your shares in 6 months. You are going to obtain a right today to be able to sell your shares in 6 months' time at a price agrees today, that price is 5% less than the current price. That means you need to buy a put option. A put option will give you the right to sell your shares at a price agrees today. That means you need to buy a put option. A glitch. A decision has been taken to buy over-the-counter options. If you are to buy this option, you are going to pay a price. You are taking a decision to buy over-the-counter options to protect yourself. That over-the-counter option is the put option. You are trying to obtain a right today to sell your shares at a price fixed today, but you are going to be selling in 6 months' time. You now need to pay for this over-the-counter option. A merchant bank is offering you a 6-month option to your company for 1,250,000. A merchant bank said, I'm prepared to offer you appropriate 6-month option to your company for 1,250,000. Now the question is, you have to evaluate whether the price at which the merchant bank is willing to sell the option is a fair price. What we are trying to evaluate now is this 1,250,000 that the merchant bank is asking us to pay. Is this the appropriate price we are supposed to pay? Or is it more or less? You now need to do the valuation yourself. Calculate the appropriate price yourself. We can now compare the price with what the merchant bank is asking us to pay. We now need to do independent calculation. What is the appropriate price for 6 months put option? Remember, you are planning to sell your shares. That means you need to obtain rights to sell your shares. So what is the appropriate price for 6 months put option? To calculate the price of a put option, we explained that you can use black school model. So please, you must try to understand the examiner requirements. Requirement A. Calculation of appropriate 6 months put option price using black schools model. What is the formula? If you are to calculate put option, P is equal to capital letter E, small letter e exponential raised to power R T multiplied by N minus D2. Close my bracket. Minus X2 multiplied by N minus D1. This is the first question we are solving. Please, you are going to require normal distribution table. Although it's available in your material anyway. Now your variables. XO, current share price. That is the asset. The asset is your shares. What is the current share price? 3 naira 60 kobo. Capital letter E, exercise price. Price at which, the predetermined price at which you want to exercise your rights. Examiner says we are going to protect ourselves against 5% fall in share price. That means out of these 360, 3 naira 60 kobo, you can tolerate 5% fall. Compute 5% of 360 and deduct it. The company is prepared. Look at it here. You plan to hedge the risk of Yaro shares falling by more than 5%. That is, you can accept 5% fall, but it must not exceed 5%. You can tolerate 5% reduction in share price. So compute 5% of 360, 3 naira 60 kobo, and deduct 5%. Or you can do like this.
3.40.
Thank you. 3 naira 60 kobo multiplied by 95%. That means I can tolerate 5% reduction. 3 naira 42 kobo. Your letter R. Your risk-free rate. Risk-free rate. If you look at the question, I'm going to say 4%. 0.04. Your letter T. Time to maturity. Examiner says 6 months. 6 months is equal to half year. 6 over 12. That is 0.5. Our volatility. Volatility is represented by standard deviation. Examiner says 13%. I usually tell students that this topic is not as hard. Just identify your 5 variables. You have gotten the 5 variables. We now need to calculate D1 and D2. What is the formula for D1? Your D1 is equal to E XO divided by capital letter E. Close your bracket, plus R plus 0.5 constant multiplied by the volatility square. Close your brackets, then multiply by T. Everything divided by volatility square root of T. Your in is your log, is the natural log on your calculator. Please, we shall all try to calculate this. Please get your calculator. Scientific calculator, of course. That is better for following. Why it's called? Where better for speaking grammar. Your in, your XO 3.60. exercise price 3.42 plus your risk-free rate 0.04 plus 0.5 is constant, multiplied by square of the volatility 13%, 0.13 raised to power 2. Everything multiplied by 0.5. Speaking grammar there. Over volatility 0.13 multiplied by the square root of 0.5. Oh yeah, apply your calculator. On your calculator, you are going to see in. Charity. We are applying your calculator. Let us apply the calculator together. Are we set?
Yes, sir.
All right. If you check your calculator, you have where you have in, press in. For some calculator, the in will come with brackets. For some, you need to put the bracket yourself. Now press, if you have the brackets, continue. 3.6 divided by 3.42. Close your bracket. Plus, open another bracket. 0.04 plus 0.5 multiplied by 0.13 raised to power 2. Close your bracket. Then multiply by 0.5. Obtain your answer. What do you have?
0.0755.
Correct. Now, that answer you have, divide it by, now look at your denominator. You have two figures. Introduce brackets. Your denominator, you have two figures. So introduce bracket to cover the two figures. 0.13 multiplied by square root of 0.5.
So how am I going to put the bracket before the 0.13?
Of course.
Okay.
Then when you get to the last, don't close the brackets. For some calculator, it can create problem. You are going to take your answer to 4 decimal places. Your D1 will be 0.8215. to 4 decimal places. We
So
have
it's
gotten
like
our
I
D1.
miss something. Oh.
So which one 0.8 again?
Because I got 1.1618.
You can't get 1 point.
Okay, I think
This
after times 0.
I have
0.5.
0.8213. Oh.
No, something is wrong.
Do we have to press divide before we open bracket for the 0.13 times 0.5?
Of course, you must press divide.
So
Hello, you can go home.
I got 0.82133. Not
What do you have?
0.82133. I got it.
Anything you get other than what you have on your screen, start again.
0.8215.
0.8215, you are fine.
Yes. Okay.
So if you get any figure that is not 0.8215, please start again. Your D2, the formula for D2 is equal to D1
Sir,
minus.
please wait now.
It's you that will compute your own now. Reapply your calculator. And tell us your answer.
I got the same thing. Use the raw figure that we got.
All you need to do is to follow this. When you get here, introduce brackets. But for some calculator,
I've got
the
it.
second bracket is not needed. But the first bracket is compulsory. So please, apply your calculator and tell us that you have this answer.
I have it.
Now we have resolved D1. Look at what we are following, please. We are trying to look at the formula. Look at it. D1, D2. From the formula, there is D1. There is D2. When you are done, you now go to ND1, ND2. So what is guiding us is the formula. You know the capital letter E. You know the small letter R. You know the T. We know the SO. What we are trying to get is N minus D2 and N minus D1. So our formula for D2 is equal to D1 minus volatility square root of T. That means for you to calculate your D2, you must calculate D1 first. You now come here. Our D2 is equal to D1 0.8215 minus volatility, standard deviation, 0.13 multiplied by the square root of T, 0.5. Please work this out. You put this in brackets for convenience. Your answer should be in 4 decimal places. If you check your answer, you are going to have 0.7296.
Yes, sir. Yes, 0.7296.
Correct.
Mm.
0.7296. So gradually we are going.
Mm.
You have resolved D1 and D2. Next, determine ND1 and ND2 using normal distribution table, subject to plus 0.5 or minus 0.5. The normal distribution table will be provided at the back of your answer script, at the back of your question paper. This normal distribution table, you have your row and your column, and it's subject to 0.5 plus and 0.5 minus. You now start with your D1. Your D1 figure, 0.8215. That table is based on range. So you have to establish a range. Now look at this figure. Assuming better be following. Jesus Christ has been helping you. You now be following the work. God has deposited in you the brain. God has deposited in you the strength. You have to put it to work. These people. Normally, when you are starting when you are learning a new thing, it's natural. Over time, you get used to it. So do not create fears. Now let me explain this briefly. Remember when we are doing graph in secondary school? A line graph, you have 0.8, 0.81, 0.82, 0.83. Now look at this number. 0.8215 lies between 0.82 and 0.83. It is greater than 0.82, but less than 0.83. This number will stand somewhere here. Maybe somewhere here. That means this number is between, we call it the range. This number is between 0.82 and 0.83. I've only used the line to explain. You don't need to draw line in exam hall. I've only introduced the line graph to explain. In the exam hall, you don't need to start drawing line. So this number D1, 0.8215, range between 3. You have established a range. You observe we are not rushing the class. Deliberately, we are not rushing the class. Because this your comment is even scaring me. Now, when you are done with your range, now determine ND1. From your D1, you are going to determine ND1. ND1. ND1 is equal to. Now look at, we said this table is subject to 0.5 plus or 0.5 minus. So the question is, it should be 0.5 plus. Or 0.5 minus. So the question is, when are you going to apply 0.5 plus? Or when are you going to apply 0.5 minus? Now, if you calculate your D1, or you calculate your D2, and the sign here is positive, like what we have here, plus 0.8215. When your sign for D1 or your sign for D2 is positive, then you are going to apply 0.5 plus. when the sign for D1 or the sign for D2 is a positive sign, then you are going to calculate your ND1 by starting with 0.5 plus. You now open your bracket. Now let's go to that log. We need to check 0.82. The range you have established, 0.82. Now look at the log. Look at it. This is normal distribution table. You now read, you have your column and row. From this column side now, look at it aside here. Look at 0.8. 0.8. You have 0.80, 0.81, then you have 0.8. Look at it, 0.2. This is where you have 0.2. This is 0.82. The figure here is 0.2939. You pick that figure, 0.2939. Return to your calculation. This is 0.2939. You now introduce plus. You observe that we are not looking at those zeros. You have checked 0.82. 0.8, you trace it to 0.2. It takes you 0.02. Look at the figure you are trying to reach. 0.8215. Out of 0.8215, you have checked 0.82. You are left with what? 15. You check 0.82. You are left with 0.15. Please just come here. 0.15. This remaining 15. Please don't do 0.0015. Your table has taken care of the zeros. Just do 0.15. That is your remaining figures. You check 0.8 trace to 2. That remaining two figures will be points, remaining figures. Open another bracket. Now go check 0.8 raised to 3 on your table. Look at it, please. Look at 3 here. 0.8 to 3. 0.2967. Zero point 2967. That is the figure for 0.8 raised to 2. That we call it the upper band. Once you have getting the figure, minus, now the figure you get in 0.82, 0.2939. This will give you your ND1 figure. Work this figure out now. As stated on your on the screen or the board. 0.2967 minus 0.2939 multiplied by 0.15 plus 0.2939 plus 0.5. You are going to have your ND1 will give you 0.7943.
That doesn't mean all answers must have to be in 4 decimal place.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You have resolved ND1. Let's go through ND2 again. Your D2, the figure you have is 0.797296. So establish a range. Zero 0.72 to 0.73. When you are done establishing the range, now open your ND2. Your D2 figure will give you your ND2 figure. Is equal to, remember again, if the sign here is positive, like what we have, positive 0.79, 0.7296, you are going to start with 0.5 plus. But if the sign happens to be negative, then you are going to start with 0.5 minus. This is associated with normal distribution table. You now open your bracket. Now go to that log. Check 0.7 under 2. This is 0.7. This is 0, 1, 2. 0.2642. Pick the figure. Point 2642. We only put 0 to make it, but you can try to pick your points. 0.26442 plus the remaining figure here. You have checked 0.72, 0.72. You are left with 96. Just pick it as 0.96. Open another bracket. Now go check 0.7. Trace to 3. If I trace to 3.2673. .2673, then minus the figure you get at the initial place, 0.2642. Work this out. Now apply your calculator.
0.7671. 7672.
Correct.
Mhm.
Correct.
Indeed.
0.7672. You have gotten ND1 and ND2. Look at the formula. You have gotten ND1, ND2. n minus d1, n minus d2. Determine n minus d1 and n minus d2. Please note, this working tree is only required if you are to calculate put price. This is needed to calculate value of put option. Why am I putting this there? If you are to calculate value of call option, you don't need to come to this place. And this is very simple. Your n minus d1 is equal to 1 minus nd1. That is 1 minus 0.7943. Your n minus d2 is equal to 1 minus nd2. That is 1 minus 0.7672. That's all. One minus 0.7943. 0.2075. One minus 0.7672. This is 0.2328. You can now calculate value of put. The formula says put is equal to capital letter E, small letter e, raised to power r multiplied by t, multiplied by n minus d2, xo multiplied by n minus d1. Pick your variables. P is equal to our capital letter E, the exercise price, 3.42. Small letter e, exponential function, raised to power minus our small letter r, 4%. That is your risk-free. Our letter T, 6 months, 0.5. Then this exponential is raised to power. This multiply will come down. M minus D2, 0.2328. Close your bracket minus XO, 3.60. Multiply by M minus D1, 0.2057. Yeah. Let us apply the calculator together. IJ, Charity, Tosin.
Sir.
Who is there again? I can see these three on my screen.
So did they say these questions? Does it come out like all the time?
Like, please, let me to ask, so,
does it
cause
come
I don't
out?
even understand.
I don't know about.
Does it
Okay.
come out? We need to know. Okay, I will answer you later. Carry your calculator first.
Okay.
On your calculator, start with your 3.42.
So are we going to put the brackets?
It's not compulsory, but you can put it if you like, but it's not compulsory.
Now some people are leaving the class, so
Why are you worried? You
that-
enter the exam individually now. Even in exam hall, some will enter 5 minutes, they will go out. They still can't write exam. Are you going to follow them? There is no emotion in this business. Is that clear?
clear, sir, clear.
Emotion is not running a business. You might have a reason to leave in the class. No, it's not a problem. But it's our duty to deal with the syllabus. So your 3.42, press it. Now go to shift. Press shift or second function. Now
I've
go
done.
and look at your in. Press your in. The letter E will come out.
Yes, it came out.
I mean, I don't have EO. I don't have EO.
In, not E.
I
Oh,
said,
okay. Oh, okay. Shift in.
So when you
Shift.
press your figure 3.42, go to shift or second function. Now go back to your in. Once you press that in, the second function will come out. You are
Okay.
going to see letter E.
Okay.
Exponential function. Now introduce bracket up. Bracket minus 0.04 multiplied by 0.5. Close your brackets. Are you there now?
Yes, sir.
Now obtain your answer first. What do you have?
3.352.
3.413.
Overton.
Correct. 3.
Sir, no, I got 3.352.
If I know.
Good.
Eh?
Like that. Now,
Sir, we did not get the same answer.
yes.
So I got
0.28.
3.413.
So let's start all over again.
The answer you have first should be 3.3522. Is that not?
Yes, that's what I got.
Jesus.
Now, you can start again, but the answer you should have is 3.3522979.
Open
So if you
bracket.
don't have that answer, you're not able to get 3.4. You have 3.352292279. For this part only.
Okay.
So you can start again.
Okay, so I got 3.4268.
No, go and start again.
Jesus Christ. So what's the answer? Let me just write.
3.35.
3.45.
No. The answer is
3.42.
3.35.
Start again.
Okay. So,
I got 3.42.
no,
You
he's
can't
asking you to
get
start again.
3.42 now. Look at the screen. What are you seeing? Start it all over again.
Okay.
My
3.42.
calculator say error.
Now do shift.
Shift in
What do you have there?
E
You have E,
exponential
Abby.
function.
Now introduce brackets.
Bracket.
Minus 0.04
Minus 0.04
multiplied by 0.5.
and 0.05.
Now you said 0.05. This is 0.5.
It's 0.5, not
Okay.
0.05.
Was all making mistake. 0.0 and 0.5.
Close your
Get your
bracket.
answer.
Okay, 3.3522.
Now
3.3523.
multiply the answer by 0.232. Look at it, 0.2328. What do you have?
0.7804.
0.7804.
Correct. Minus, open a bracket. 3.6 multiplied by 0.2057. What's your final answer?
0.03989.
Correct. Your final answer, 0.0399 approximately. If you are getting syntax error, you are doing wrong thing. You have gotten price per put. This is put price per share. How many shares does this investors have? How many shares is this?
27,750 million.
So total put price. Total put price. Number of shares 27,750,000 multiplied by 0.0399. What do you have?
One million 106,965.
Are you calculating? 1
Away.
million 107. 1 million 107 225.
Oh, yes.
That is the total put price. That is the amount you are supposed to pay. How much is the merchant bank asking you to pay?
1 paragraph. Hold on, sir.
1 million.
Merchant
1,250.
bank asking price 1,250,000. Now the question is that price the merchant bank asking you to pay? Is it a fair price?
No, it is higher.
No, sir.
The answer is no. The merchant bank asking price is not a fair price. The appropriate price should be 1,107,225. You are done with requirements A. So, Oluwatosin, whether the examiner will text it or not, I don't know. But it's part of your syllabus.
Now, the thing is that the question is okay, it's simple, but it's just the fact that you have to go to that table to go and look for something.
And this is the first question you are solving. By the time you do second question, third question, it should get better.
Yes, sir. Is there alternative method to approach this topic?
This is the method you are going to use. No alternative method, except you are using another theory. Wychan said you are going to use black school model.
Which kind of wahala be this? The lack of trust
So,
lead
Mr.
to
Apple,
all. Yes, sir.
if you ask me honestly, it's not as difficult.
Oh, maybe by the time we move forward, it will be
If you ask me
easy.
honestly, it's just for you to carefully study what we have done. You know, I said at the start of this class last week, when you are learning a new thing, it is natural that you are trying to rationalize it. Why do I need to do this or that? Why? What is this thing talking about? It's a natural thing. It becomes so difficult when you cannot relate with it. But because you need to pass the exam, you can now try to study it more. Let me even try to study it. Because I'm very sure that by the time we are going to solve second question, then except there's an issue, it should get better. For the first question, I expect all these concerns you were raising. It's expected. But subsequent question, I will expect improvements.
Amen.
So that is how to value put option. If you look at your question, examiner can ask you to value either put option or call option. If you check 2024, both November diets, May diets, 2023, the same thing. Examiner will just asking option, option, option. Even that diet, 2024 May diet, it was the 30 marks question. Option theory. So my take is, in as much as I'm going to write the exam, then I'm going to study that thing. It might not be in your exam, oh, it wasn't tested last diet. It might not be there. But nobody can say yes or no. Amendment B, explain briefly how a decrease in the value of each of the following variables is likely to change the value of a call option. One, volatility of the stock price. Two, risk-free rates. Examiner says you should explain. If there's a decrease in volatility of a stock price, volatility means standard deviation. Standard deviation is used to measure risk. So if there's a decrease in your risk, what will happen to your stock price? Will your stock price increase or decrease? If there's a decrease in your risk-free rates, what will happen to the value of the call option? Will the value of the call option increase or decrease? If you pay attention to last class and you try to watch the video, we explained the Greeks. Look at this. The Greeks measure the sensitivity of option value with respect to changes in the input variables. The Greeks measures changes in option value. The option value could be call option value or put option value with respect to changes in input variables. Now look at this question. We talk about types of Greeks. Look at this now. We said real measures change in option price to change in interest rate. Look at this real. Change in option price divided by change in risk-free rate. Examiner says if there's a decrease in risk-free rates, what will be the impact on call option value? What the examiner is texting here is real. We say real is positive for call and negative for put. That question B. Examiner is testing the Greeks. Real is positive for call option and negative for put option. Look at the last one, Vega. Vega measure change in price, option price, as a result of change in volatility. Change in option over change in volatility. What the examiner is asking you there is Vega. Vega is positive for both call and put option. We can respond to this now without any calculation. Look at this. Explain briefly how a decrease in the value of each of the following variables is likely to change the value of the call option. So if there is decrease in volatility, what happens to your call option? We said the call option must be positive. This is Vega. Change in call option value over change in volatility. Look at this, the B parts. Change in call option value over change in volatility. The examiner now says, the rule says this must be positive. This is Vega. Vega is positive for both call and put option. Now to the question. If there is decrease in volatility, decrease in volatility, of the stock price, what will happen to the value of your call option? For the call to be positive, the two variables must move in the same direction. For the results to be positive, the two variables must move in the same direction. That means if there's decrease in volatility of the stock price, this will result in fall. Decrease in volatility of stock price will result in decrease in the value of a call option. You are done with that. For this call option to be positive, for this vega to be positive, the two variables must move in the same direction. This is B1. B2, a decrease in the risk-free rates will result in decrease in the value of call option. Because we said real is positive for call. For real to be positive, both the risk-free rates and value of call option must move in the same direction.